mi amigos, I hope you're all doing well today. So in this video here today, we're going to talk briefly about why you should not move to Mexico. Hop on the back and let's go for a ride. Your scenery is going to change as we go, by the way. Okay, my friends, we'll get right to her. So number one is going to be crime and scammers. Okay, my friends, we'll just try to be brief with each little topic that we come up with here. So number one will be scammers and crime. Now, we've never witnessed or experienced any crime ourselves, but we've definitely experienced scamming more than once. So the first time was with our car. I believe that we were scammed with our car because the kilometers were rolled back, and I'm almost 100% positive that the kilometers were rolled back in our car. So I believe that we got scammed that way, and they lied to us and told us that it was used for just going back and forth to work and whatnot, but it was actually used as an Uber car. And the second time we were scammed, we were on holidays in Mahual. We had stopped for petrol, and the gas attendant shorted us 100 pesos. I had never noticed. Jennifer did, and right away went up to him and demanded our money back, and he coughed it up pretty quick, needless to say. So I guess technically we never got scammed, but it was an attempt to scam us. Luckily I have a smart wife and caught it right away.
I also want to talk about another experience we had with a realtor in the Progreso area. We had scheduled an appointment to view a place that was very beautiful online on the pictures for a very reasonable price. When it came time to view it, she contacted us and said, "Oh, it's been rented, but I have another one for you to see if you're interested." So we went and saw that one, and of course was nowhere near as nice. And I only mention this because this same realtor did it to friends of ours as well.
Okay, mi amigos, we'll get moving on to number two, and for me, it's the garbage. There is a fair bit of garbage here in this area that we are living in now. And we've traveled around other places in Mexico, and I've seen garbage everywhere. I mean, there's garbage all over the world, but there seems to be an excessive amount here on the streets and in the, the alleyways and whatnot. So when we were in Campeche, we didn't hardly see any garbage, not like we do here. And when we were in Mahual, we didn't see much for garbage as well. And even when we were in Homun, we didn't see much for garbage. I mean, I've seen a little bit here and there, and I've seen it other places, but here in Progreso, there's quite a bit of garbage everywhere. So that's kind of a negative. And I've known when we've traveled here before, doing our holidays over the years, I mean, there's a lot of garbage on the side of the roads and whatnot, so it's not as, there's obviously way more people here than in Canada, obviously. So more people, more garbage, more pollution, for sure. So, but anyway, that's kind of a little bit of a drawback for me anyway.
Number three is the language barrier. We are fortunate enough to have met some locals that are very happy to help us with the language barrier. I'm not sure I could have transferred our internet out to Progreso if it hadn't been for the lovely Jessica, who spent 2 hours on the phone with them. I would have, ended that phone call in tears long before 2 hours was up. Before we met Jorge and Jessica, we also paid people to do interpretation for us to expedite getting things done. We use the translator app quite a lot, but it only gets you so far. And in my experience, when you really need it to work, that's when it won't. The language barrier is a part of your everyday life, whether it's shopping, trying to read labels, trying to talk to the staff, or even a phone call when somebody's trying to deliver you a package. it's very difficult to understand each other when you don't speak the same language.
I just want to add, for me, myself, I don't speak or understand any Spanish, like none other than hello and goodbye and thank you. That's about it. So it's pretty frustrating when I'm out on my bike and a nice old gentleman will start talking to me on the pier and I have no idea what he's saying and just kind of nod, and it's rather embarrassing actually, and I feel terrible that I'm not learning the language fast enough. So it's very frustrating, but that's my own fault for not applying myself to learn the language. So I really got to get my butt in gear.
Number 4 is street dogs. I'll let Daryl talk about street dogs, but I'm going to start talking about dogs on the street. Do you remember, this is for our older audience, when you were a kid in the 70s and everybody had a dog and everybody would just open up their door and let the dog run around the neighborhood and they would come back when they were hungry? That's kind of what it's like here in Mexico. Not all the dogs on the street are stray dogs. Many of them are happy, healthy, well-fed dogs with owners. They just run around the neighborhood because that's what it's like here, just like it was back in the 70s. Not to say there aren't street dogs, or rather stray dogs. Those are abundant here as well.
Yeah, it's actually really sad to see so many stray dogs and street dogs running around, whatever you want to say, wild dogs, but there is quite a few of them. Just down the road from where we are, there's a local had dropped off their dog and it had puppies, and the puppies are over there and they're full of fleas and they have worms, and we bought a bag of dog food to help our neighbors try to feed them because they were watering them and bringing them water and whatnot and giving them scraps. And so we started doing that as well, and we went and bought a bag of dog food. I mean, you can only do so much, right? So I don't know, I tried to post on Facebook, get rid of these dogs. They're cute little dogs, they're little puppies. There's 4 of them that are left. Someone came and took 2. There was 6, and 2 of the good looking ones are gone apparently. So I think someone came and took them because they were the better looking out of the 6. So I'm pretty sure that's what me and my neighbor figure anyway, that someone came and took them. So yeah, there's a lot of dogs, and I've had them come after me when I'm riding my bike. Like, I haven't been bitten, but I've heard stories of them attacking other people's dogs while they're walking their dogs. And they're a wild animal, so they're very territorial, right? So speaking of dogs, there's a bunch right there, some really beautiful ones that are well trained. So yeah, that's a big problem here. Absolutely, street dogs are everywhere, and they can be dangerous when they're in packs, right? Just like a wild wolf or a wild coyote, right? They run in packs, and that's when they become dangerous, and they can hurt people and hurt your pet. So we have to be very aware of the street dogs. Like I said, I haven't been bitten yet, but I have been chased and barked at and growled at, and on more than once when I'm out walking and riding the bike. So you got to keep your wits about you, that's for sure. So that's all we'll say about the street dogs, my friend. So my friends, we'll move on to number 5, which is infrastructure. It's definitely not the same as back home in Canada or the USA. There's a lot of power outages all over Mexico, some places more frequently than others. So if you're a digital nomad like Jennifer is, you're going to want power 24/7 pretty well, right? And internet. So we've gone ahead and we've ordered a generator now. So we have a generator that's coming. I believe I got a 2200 watt generator coming, so it'll also run a small refrigerator as well. And as you've seen in previous videos, we do have the battery backup. So we learned rather quickly with the battery backup that I had bought, and it didn't last very long, about 30 minutes of juice, that's it. And all we have plugged into it is the modem and the firewall. So we've gone ahead and ordered this generator. And hurricane season's right around the corner, and there will be power outages, I'm sure. Like I said, from what I've been told, it's very common throughout all of Mexico to have power outages, and some places are worse than others. So you got to be very aware of that. And when it's hot and humid and you got no air conditioning, what are you going to do? And we'll also talk about the plumbing. The plumbing is not the same as what it is back home. Like at this place that we're in right now, doesn't even have a water pump. It's all gravity fed. So when you're having a shower, it's just trickling out of the shower head. There's no water pump here at all whatsoever. There's a water pump to fill the pool and to fill a Tanaka on the roof, which is your water tank, and the rest is all gravity fed. And also, as I've said in previous videos, we don't even have hot water in the kitchen. I'm hauling hot water from the bathroom into the kitchen to do the dishes properly. So, and that's quite common. Okay, now mind you, we were in our Bravada and it was pretty new, only a couple years old, and it was okay. It wasn't bad. We had water pump and there was water pressure and all that, but the plumbing was still not the same as what it is back home. Okay, my friends, we'll move on to roads. That's enough of plumbing, I think, so you get the point. The highways are pretty good for the most part, what we've seen. I've only been here for 8 months, but we have traveled around a fair bit, and all the highways are pretty nice, actually. They don't have, like in Canada, with the frost and whatnot, so I think the highways hold up a lot better here. They just got the heat to contend with. They don't have the permafrost, right? So the thawing and freezing, so with the road shifting and moving, don't have any of that, so the roads are a lot better, the highways. But you get into these towns, and they're not that great. Merida was pretty good, but yeah, the smaller towns and whatnot, the main drags are usually pretty good, but then you get onto the back streets, they're pretty rough. They're definitely pretty rough. And the sidewalks as well, some are non-existent, they're broken, they're like a foot drop, big hole, with a tire in it, and that's about it. There'd be a hole in the sidewalk, and then just throw a tire in it, and there's your warning. So, there's stuff like that. You really gotta have your wits about you when you're walking around and when you're driving. There's no looking at your phone and playing on Facebook or TikTok while you're driving, that's for sure. You shouldn't be doing that anyway.
So that concludes our top 5 list of reasons not to move to Mexico. Let us know what your list would be in the comments below.
Yeah, mi amigos, I'm sure we've obviously missed some. That's just our opinion, what our list looked like, why we wouldn't move here. Obviously, the good outweighs the bad because we're here and we love it here. So that's it. That's all, my friends. Thanks for putting up with us. Have yourself a fabulous day. Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos.